Hey, welcome back to This Day in History. We have quite a bit to go over here for July 17th, so let's just get into it. A lot of war stuff, a lot of intrigue, a lot of let's just get into it. 1763, John Jacob Astor, born in Waldorf, Germany. He was the founder of the renowned family of Anglo-American business leaders, capitalists, philanthropists. I think he might have actually been related to the same Captain Astor that Astoria, Oregon is named after. I'm not sure about that, but at any rate, 1935, he just passed away here very recently. 1935 sees the birth of Donald Sutherland, Canadian actor. 1947, the current Queen of the UK, Camilla, her birthday is today. She was born in 1947. Former Chancellor of Germany, Angela Merkel, she was born in 1954. 1958, we see the birth of Chinese director Wong Kar-wai. 1975, the year I was born, Terence Tao, an Australian mathematician, was born on this day. Now we get into the nitty-gritty here. So 1453, the French forces rout the English in the Battle of Castillon, and it would be the last battle from the 100 Years' War. In 1683, Turkish forces began siege of Vienna against the Habsburg Holy Roman Emperor Leopold the First. Say that 3 times fast. Leopold. 1862, Lincoln's Wartime Congress, meaning it wasn't all the Congress, because remember, we had some states that had seceded from the Union. So this is all the northern states' Congress. They had passed the Second Confiscation Act, which was the precursor to the Emancipation Proclamation. In 1902, we have a mechanical engineer by the name of Willis Carrier. He completed drawings on what would become the modern-day air conditioning unit. That was 1902. We had a couple things happen on this day in 1918. July 17th, 1918. First was the Carpathia. This was an ocean liner. Looks a lot like the Titanic, because they're both the similar kind of ocean liners. Speaking of Titanic, it actually aided in the rescue of survivors from the Titanic incident. But this ship, the Carpathia, was sunk by German U-boats during World War I. Also, which doesn't make any sense because, well, I guess World War I did end in November of 1918. So yeah, scratch that. Anyway, so something else that happened in 1918 was Tsar Nicholas II and his family, the Romanov family, they were executed by the Bolsheviks on this day. And I've been thinking a lot about Tsar Nicholas and his family here recently. If you've ever heard of the story of Anastasia, Anastasia was one of his daughters, and that there had been a rumor floating around, like in the 50s or whatever, that Anastasia had actually survived the execution, but she didn't. All members of the family were killed. The nanny was killed, and the family doctor. They were all killed together. They were brutally shot, and then their bodies were dumped into these vats where they were basically melted down in acid, and then they were, thrown together and buried in like a concrete slab. Anyway, years ago they had found the bodies, confirmed that it was the Romanov families, and then the Russian government gave them a state funeral and actually buried them properly in a place where, befitting of royalty, because he was the Tsar. His family had ruled the Russian people for like over 300 years or something like that. So that happened on this day in 1918. 1944, one of my favorite military leaders, even though he was on the German army during World War II. Field Marshal Erwin Rommel, he was seriously injured on this day when his car was forced off the road by Royal Air Force fighter bombers. They almost got him. He's one of my favorite military commanders because no man who's ever served under his command was ever brought up on war charges or war crimes. And that's because he was an impeccable military leader, and he was a professional soldier, and he expected all his soldiers under his command to be professional and not commit war crimes. And so they didn't. None of them did. So that's a testament to his leadership there. 1945, we see the last Allied conference held in Potsdam. It was the big three. Was Joseph Stalin from Russia. It was Winston Churchill from England, and it was Harry Truman from the United States. When they successfully tested the atom bomb, this would have been yesterday, 1945, they were in Potsdam, and Leslie Groves, the general in charge of that project, had to get a message to Potsdam and let Truman know that the test was successful. And if you're a fan of Disneyland at all, well, this is the day. It was on this day in 1955 that Disneyland, the amusement park, had opened its doors for the very first time. 1996, we see TWA Flight 800 crashes into the Atlantic Ocean, kills 230 people. Government inquiry reports that there was an air fuel mixture issue in the fuel tank. There was an explosion in that fuel tank, and that's what caused the crash. Others think that it was actually shot down by a missile. In 1998, the UN completes their statutes establishing the International Criminal Court, which would begin sittings in 4 years. In 2009, the respected journalist Walter Cronkite died at the age of 92. He was the most respected man in journalism. He was the one journalist that all of America trusted. He had a great career. He was one of the most respected newsmen out there. And so he died on this day in 2009. 2014, here we have another plane crash. Malaysian Flight 17 crashes in separatist-held Ukraine, killing all 298 people. A Dutch investigation later concluded that the plane was actually shot down by a Russian surface-to-air missile. In 2020, John Lewis dies at the age of 80. John Lewis was a civil rights leader and a politician. And our featured event is on this day in 1790, Adam Smith, who was a Scottish philosopher, he would die. He passed away. So that does it for this day in history. I'm going to go head off to the gym. My new glasses are they're ready for pickup, and so it's a beautiful day. It's got some clouds. We had some thunder and lightning last night and some rain, so I was happy because I love that stuff. On a side note, it is my ex-wife's birthday, so happy birthday to her. I hope she is well. I don't talk to her, so I just I don't wish her any ill will, even though we've been divorced for 2 years. I hope she has a happy life. I hope the kids have a happy life. I do miss them daily, but life goes on. They've moved on, and so should I. So happy birthday. Be well. And that's going to conclude it for this day in history for July 17. Take care. We will do this again tomorrow for July 18th. And yeah. See you then. Bye.